If you opened your wardrobe right now and counted every bag you own, the ones on the shelf, the ones on hooks, the ones in dust bags at the back, how many would you find? And of those, how many do you reach for without thinking? How many do you actually use? Most women I speak with own between 8 and 15 bags, and most of them carry the same 2 or 3 on rotation. The rest sit. They represent money spent, decisions made, and a quiet, persistent sense that the wardrobe still isn't quite right, that something is still missing. Here is what nobody told you. The problem is not that you haven't found the right bag yet. The problem is the volume itself, because more bags do not give you more options. They systematically drain the mental clarity you need to use the options you already have. And they signal something to every room you walk into that has nothing to do with style. French women over 60, the ones who look effortlessly put together in a way that feels almost unfair, have known this for decades. They live by a rule so specific, so counterintuitive, and so financially intelligent that when I first encountered it properly, I had to sit with it before I believed it. Today, I'm giving you that rule, all 5 layers of it, and by the end of this video, you will never shop for a bag the same way again. Before we go into the details of today's video, I have a free gift for you. It's something I know you'd appreciate. I have read a lot of comments from some of you asking for this, and I decided to build a checklist around it. It is called the Elegant Morning Routine Checklist, 12 Rituals of Women Who Are Timeless, Healthy, and Undeniable After 40. It is the morning architecture that puts everything I described today into daily practice: cortisol protection, protein-first nutrition, movement, silence, grooming standards, and the identity rituals that make all of it sustainable. Every page is a deliberate act of self-respect. Stay until the end to get it for free. Now let's get into today's video. Point 1. More bags, fewer options. Every woman who has ever stood in front of a wardrobe full of bags and felt paralyzed knows this feeling, but almost no one has been told why it happens or what it is actually costing them. Most women believe that owning more bags gives them more flexibility, more choices, more range. That is the logic the fashion industry has sold for decades, and it is precisely backwards. I am going to show you what is actually happening when you own too many, but before I do, there is something you need to understand first. I have been a deliberate editor of my own wardrobe since my late 30s, a discipline I developed partly through 15 years of working in and around the luxury industry, and partly through watching my mother, Claudine, who grew up in Lyon and never once owned more than she needed. Her wardrobe was small, impeccable, and completely intentional. She never looked like she was trying. She always looked like herself. It was only later, after reading the work of psychologist Barry Schwartz on what he called the paradox of choice, that I understood the mechanism behind what she had intuitively practiced. Schwartz's research demonstrated that beyond a certain threshold, more options do not improve decision-making. They impair it. The brain experiences option overload as a form of cognitive stress. And the result is not better choices. It is decision fatigue, lower satisfaction with the choice eventually made, and a persistent low-grade anxiety that the right option was the one you didn't pick. Apply that to a wardrobe full of bags, and the effect is compounded daily. Every morning, the unresolved decision of which bag to carry pulls from the same finite mental resource you need for the rest of your day. It is a small drain, but it is daily. And it accumulates. The French women I observed during my time in Paris, at dinners, at galleries, at the kind of quiet lunches in the 6th arrondissement where nobody is performing anything, did not have this problem because they had eliminated it by design. Resolve, owning fewer bags is not a sacrifice. It is a cognitive upgrade. When your wardrobe contains only bags you love completely and reach for without hesitation, the daily decision disappears, and that mental clarity returns to you every single morning. This is the first layer of the 3-bag rule, limitation as liberation. Here is where most people stop, and stopping here leaves the framework incomplete. Because the cognitive argument alone will not tell you which bags to keep. And what I'm about to tell you about what your handbag is communicating in the first 7 seconds, before you have spoken a single word, will change the criteria you use to make that decision entirely. Point 2. What your bag is saying before you speak. Your handbag is making an impression. Right now, in every room you enter, it is communicating something about you to every person who sees it. And it is almost certainly not communicating what you think it is. Most women believe the signal is the logo, the brand name, the recognizability. I'm going to show you what people are actually reading. And it is something far more specific and far more within your control. But first, there is something you need to understand about how first impressions actually form. Princeton research on first impression formation, which I have returned to many times in my years of thinking about presence, found that people form their primary judgments about warmth, competence, and social status within the first 7 seconds of visual contact. These judgments are based almost entirely on nonverbal signals, not on what is said, on what is seen. When I was consulting for luxury brands in my earlier career, I sat in on a consumer perception study that has stayed with me. Participants were shown photographs of when carrying different categories of bags: structured versus unstructured, worn versus pristine, logo forward versus quietly branded. The results were striking and consistent. The women perceived as most intelligent, most authoritative, and most socially secure were not the ones carrying the most recognizable logos. They were the ones carrying structured, well-maintained bags and quality materials, regardless of the specific brand. What people read in 7 seconds is not the logo. It is the condition of the bag, the quality of the leather or material, the structural integrity, and, crucially, whether the bag appears chosen or accumulated. A bag that looks like a deliberate decision reads as authority. A bag that looks like a habit or a compromise reads as the absence of it. A woman I know, a criminal barrister in London, formidably precise, told me she made the decision at 58 to retire every bag that showed visible wear and to own only 3 at any one time. She said, "I cannot afford for anything I carry into a courtroom to undermine what I am about to say." Most of us are not walking into courtrooms, but we are all walking into rooms where we are being read before we speak. Resolve. The signal your bag sends is not about the name on the clasp. It is about the quality of the decision the bag represents. One bag, chosen completely, maintained impeccably, carried with intention, communicates more authority than a wardrobe full of compromises. This is the second layer. Your bag is a presence tool, not a fashion accessory. This is exactly what the Undeniables Complete System, 7 complete guides covering identity, presence, first impressions, social mastery, wellness, standards, and your morning ritual, built into one premium curriculum for women who are decided about how they age. Everything the most elegant, vital, and undeniable version of you needs, in one place for less than a dinner out. It is linked in the description. Go there next. It's linked in the description below. And here's where most people stop. And what I'm about to tell you about the financial reality of the bags you buy will reframe every purchase decision you make from this point forward. Because one specific category of bag is not a fashion expense. It is a testable financial instrument. Point 3, the investment bag, a financial claim, not a marketing claim. Investment piece is one of the most overused phrases in fashion. And in most cases, it is exactly what you suspect it is. A marketing justification for an expensive purchase that will be worth nothing in 10 years. But for one specific category of bag, the claim holds up against data, not against opinion, against the stock market. I'm going to show you the numbers. But before I do, there's something you need to understand about why this category is different. I purchased my first significant bag, a structured classic design from one of the heritage French houses, in my early 40s, at a point in my career when it required genuine financial deliberation. I did not buy it as an investment. I bought it because I understood by that point the mathematics of cost per wear. That a bag carried 300 times over 10 years at a higher purchase price costs less per use than a bag carried 30 times over 2 years at a lower one. What I did not fully understand then, and what I now know from research I have followed carefully, is that certain classic bag styles from a small number of heritage houses have appreciated in resale value at a rate that outperforms conventional financial assets. A study tracking resale values of classic handbag styles over a 10-year period found that specific models from Hermès appreciated at an average annual rate exceeding that of both gold and the S&P 500 index over the same period. This is not universal across luxury bags. It applies to a narrow category of styles, from houses with genuine production scarcity and unbroken heritage. The 3-bag rule, as French women over 60 apply it, is not about owning those specific bags necessarily. It is about understanding the financial logic behind them and applying that logic to every bag decision you make, which is exactly what our Undeniables Complete system covers in detail. A complete blueprint for the standards, presence, and decision-making frameworks that govern how the most elegant women live and age. It is linked in the description below. Resolve. When you buy a bag, ask one question before the purchase. What will this be worth in 5 years? If the answer is nothing, factor that into the real cost. If the answer is comparable to or greater than what you paid, you are not buying fashion. You are allocating capital. The investment bag is not about status. It is about understanding that quality compounds, financially as well as visually. But here's where most people stop, and what I'm about to tell you about the real cost of the cheap bag will make the mathematics even more concrete. Because the money you lose on a cheap bag is not the money you spent on it. Point 4. The real cost of a cheap bag. Most women calculate the cost of a bag as the price on the tag. That is not the cost of the bag. The real cost includes what the bag will never return to you, and for most fast fashion and mid-market bags, that number is 100% of what you paid. I am going to show you the mathematics of this clearly. But first, there is something you need to understand about how wardrobe budgets actually work over time. I have watched this pattern repeat itself throughout my consulting years. Women spending $200, $300, £400 or dollars on bags that looked reasonable at the point of purchase and were essentially worthless within 3 years. Not because the women were careless, because the bags were not made to last, and the market for them does not exist. The true cost of a $200 bag that cannot be resold is $200. The true cost of an $800 bag that resells for $600 is $200. The purchase prices are different. The actual cost to the wardrobe budget is identical, and the bag you are left with is not. A personal finance principle I think about in relation to this. Sunk cost is not the same as total cost. Every time you cannot recoup any portion of what you spent on a wardrobe item, you have made a permanent withdrawal from your available budget with no return. Multiply that across 15 bags over 10 years, and the number is significant. The women I know who shop with the most elegance and the least financial anxiety have stopped counting purchase prices and started tracking cost per wear and resale value instead. Resolve. The cheap bag is expensive, not because of what it costs to buy, but because of what it costs to own. Zero resale, repeated replacement, and the compounding of wardrobe budget that disappears permanently rather than cycling back into the next decision. Buy fewer bags, spend more on each, recover more when it is time to move on. This is the fourth layer, the economics of quality. But here's where it all comes together, because the 3-bag rule is not ultimately about money, or first impressions, or even decision fatigue. It is about something that becomes the single most visible luxury marker after 60. And I'm going to give you that final layer now. I promised you something for staying. Here it is, the Elegant Morning Routine Checklist. 12 rituals of women who are timeless, healthy, and undeniable after 40. Every morning ritual that protects your hormones, your skin, your energy, your standards, and your identity from the moment you wake. Cortisol regulation, protein-first nutrition, grooming rituals, silence, and the identity practices that make everything else sustainable. One beautifully designed PDF written in my voice for you. The link is in the description below, or scan the QR code on your screen if you're watching on TV. When you do get it, remember to email me your feedback about your takeaway from it. I love to read those emails. Point 5. The 3-bag rule as psychological architecture. We have talked about cognitive clarity. We have talked about presence. We have talked about financial intelligence. All of it is real. All of it matters. But none of it is the deepest reason French women over 60 live by this rule. The deepest reason is identity. And the way the three-bag rule protects it is something most women have never been told explicitly. My mother, Claudine, carried the same 3 bags for the last 20 years of her life, rotating them with such ease and consistency that each one felt like an extension of her rather than an accessory on her. She did not think about her bags. She simply had them. And the effect, which I observed across hundreds of interactions in Lyon, in Paris, in the rooms she entered across 2 decades, was a quality I can only describe as settled. She looked like a woman who had arrived at herself, permanently. The psychological research on identity stability and aging is consistent and striking. Studies published in journals on social cognition have found that women who report a stable, coherent sense of personal identity in their 50s and 60s are perceived by others as more confident, more authoritative, and more attractive. Not in spite of their age, but in direct correlation with the settledness their consistency communicates. Identity stability, the research suggests, is visible. It reads in the body, and it reads in the choices that surround the body. A wardrobe that requires daily negotiation, bags accumulated without principle, without coherence, without a rule, is a wardrobe that reflects an unresolved identity. A wardrobe of 3 bags, chosen completely, rotated deliberately, maintained impeccably, is a wardrobe that says, I know who I am. I have known for some time, and I no longer need to keep looking. That is the most expensive thing a woman can communicate after 60, and it costs far less than the wardrobe most women currently own. Here is the complete 3-bag rule, all 5 layers. Layer 1, limitation is liberation. Fewer bags return the cognitive clarity that more bags quietly steal every single morning. Layer 2, your bag is a presence instrument. What it communicates in 7 seconds is not the logo. It is the quality of the decision it represents. Layer 3, quality compounds financially. One specific category of bag is not a fashion purchase. It is a capital allocation with a documented return. Layer 4, the cheap bag is the expensive one. Its real cost is the wardrobe budget it permanently removes with 0 return. And Layer 5, the one that contains all the others, is this. The 3-bag rule is not a wardrobe philosophy. It is the visible evidence of a woman who has made the identity decision, held it across years, and stopped needing external validation to confirm it. That is the most undeniable thing a woman can wear after 60. And now you know exactly how to build it. The next step is the full blueprint, the Undeniables Complete System. 7 complete guides covering identity, presence, first impressions, social mastery, wellness, standards, and your morning ritual. Everything the most elegant, vital, and undeniable version of you needs, built into one system for less than a dinner out. It is linked in the description. You came here for a bag rule. What you are leaving with is the standard behind it, and that changes everything. I'll see you in the next one. Isabel.